collage that is life on land, life below water together. So first we're going to fold our paper in half. Then we know which is the top and which is the bottom. And then the first thing we're going to do is just paint blue for the sky. And here I have got some blue ink. So some very watery blue paint which soaks into the paper and makes it quite pale. I'm going to paint that on first. Now I am going to paint blue for my sea. And I'm going to use some blue paint and some white paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint along with my blue paint and kind of go up and down like waves. And I'm going to leave a space, and I'm going to do that lots of times with a space in between each time. So I need to go up and down, like a bit like a curvy zigzag line. When I've done that, I'm going to get some white paint and I'm going to fill in spaces. I'm going to start at the bottom here. And what will happen is the white paint will mix with the blue, which is fine, that's what I want, because it will give me a nice pale blue colour in between. Make sure you fill up the whole space. Off, I'm just going to put a little bit of white on top now. So here's a crest of my waves, it's mixing with the blue. Okay, so there's my sea and this is my sky. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make the life on land here first. So we're actually just going to make some trees. So you could use, I've got some old corrugated cardboard here for the trees. You could use something like this. You could use brown paper, you could use straws. Up to you. I'm going to cut a few pieces to make the trunks of my trees. I'm going to have some shorter and I think some a little bit longer, maybe some a little bit thinner. So cut a few pieces for your trees. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to have, what's that, oh, maybe I'll have a little one here as well, small, tall one. There we go. So I'm going to use this nice strong Elmer's glue. So you just want to pick it up. You put some glue on the back and stick your tree down. Remember, this paint is a little bit wet, so just be careful that you don't put your hands on it. Okay, so I'm sticking down my trees. Then I'm going to put some green at the top. So I have got some tissue paper here, so I can scrunch that up. Some glue and use that for the top of one of my trees. And you want to make it and get a bit of a round ball. Stick that on. I might do that for 2 trees. So I'll put some here as well. I also have some green paper like this, which is kind of cool, so maybe I'll use that for some trees as well. And even a circle shape will look like a tree, so I'm kind of cutting a bit of a cloudish shape for that tree. But any kind of circle shape would work. A bit more blue, stick that at the top of that one. I think I'll do this one here the same. So you might want to use this paper for all of them. You might want to use tissue paper for all of them. You can choose. Put that one over there. And then I think we'll have a little bit of tissue paper for this little one. And a little. duck. And then what I've got is actually I have some little buttons which I can put on my trees. I have some little green gems that I can put on my trees. I've even got some red buttons, maybe I can have some apple trees. So I'm going to now decorate my trees, and again I just want to use my Elmer's glue and stick it on top. Make sure you give it a push so it's going to stick when it's dry. That's my life on land, so right now I'm going to think about life below water. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a fish to go in our ocean. The paint is a little bit wet, so we're going to make the fish with paper, but before we do, we're going to use this green paper tape. It's not sticky though, and we're going to use this to be seaweed. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on my picture, some this side, this side, and then I'm going to stick it on. You want to leave a space in the middle for your fish. Put my seaweed in, cut it into pieces, stick it on top. And the great thing with this, because it's paper, is you can fold it over and make it stick out, make it a little bit 3D. And rather than making it flat, I'm kind of touching it onto the glue in a few places. Sticks up. If you don't have any of this, then you could just get green paper and cut it up into strips. That would work too. Now I'm going to put this on the drying rack, or leave it somewhere to dry, and I'm going to make my fish, and then when everything's finished I'll stick it all together. We are going to use watercolour pencils to make a picture of a fish. So first we're going to use a black permanent marker because we're going to add water to this and we don't want the pen to run, and draw our fish. So to draw a fish, we're going to do a curvy line at the top and then a curvy line underneath. Then we're going to draw a line up the top of the tail and a line down. And then you could put a straight line, a zigzag line, or a wavy line to the end of the tail. And then we're going to draw the fins. So it's one line coming up and a wavy line down, one line going out and a wavy line up. And then you can choose, maybe you want to draw a smiling mouth, or maybe you want to give your fish some big lips. That's actually, if you look, that's a heart shape I've drawn there. I think I'm just going to draw my eye. Give him or her some eyelashes too. She's a pretty fish. And then if you want to, with your black pen, you could add a few patterns or scales. So I'm just going to add a few lines like that. Okay. Now I'm going to use my watercolour pencils. So the way these work is I add some colour. I'm going to add some red here. And I can even add a little bit of another colour. So I'm going to add some red and some orange. The great thing is then if I get a brush with a little bit of water and wet it, that will blend those colours together and turn that pencil into paint. So I'm going to cut this fish out and stick it in a blue ocean, so I want him nice and colourful. So I think I'm going to use reds, yellows and oranges for all of him. I think I'm going to start with yellow for his face.